very good morning. You're watching Rajya Sabha television and I'm Smriti Rastogi with breakfast news. In the next 30 minutes, we will get you all the latest news from national, international and sports front. But before we begin the bulletin, a quick look at the top headlines. Prime Minister Modi meets Kazakhstan President, discusses areas of bilateral cooperation to address Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit today. Curfew relaxed in Mandsaur in Madhya Pradesh after situation improves. 56 people arrested in connection with protest. State government submits report to Home Ministry. Army deployed in Darjeeling after Gorkha Janmukti Morcha supporters clash with police. They are protesting imposition of Bengali in schools in hills. Counting on after polls close in the UK, exit polls predict Theresa May could lose parliamentary majority. And Sri Lanka defeat India by 7 wickets at the Champions Trophy. New Zealand to take on Bangladesh at Cardiff today. Curfew has been relaxed till 6 p.m. in Mandsaur in Madhya Pradesh. The police say the situation is improving. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi and other opposition leaders were detained by the police on Thursday when they tried to enter Madhya Pradesh with a group of Congress supporters. State Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has said that his government was open for a dialogue with the protesting farmers. Here is a complete report on the farmer situation.
Mandsaur in Madhya Pradesh continues to be on boil, with the MP police detaining Congress workers and leaders, including Rahul Gandhi and Digvijay Singh, along with JDU's Sharad Yadav on Thursday. They were granted bail. The leaders met relatives of deceased farmers at a village situated at the Rajasthan border. The Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi blamed Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the worsening situation in the state. The BJP, on the other hand, appealed to the farmers to maintain trust in the government.
हम समाधान करेंगे, भरोसा दिया है। बीजेपी की सरकार कोई ऐसा काम नहीं करेगी जिससे कि किसानों का अथवा देश के किसी सामान्य नागरिक का भरोसा और विश्वास उससे टूटे।
इसीलिए आए हैं, हिंदुस्तान भर का किसान तंग और तबाह है। जो बर्बर लाठीचार्ज हुआ है, गोली चली है, उन किसानों को कंसोल करने, उनकी मांग के साथ खड़ा होने के लिए हम योग यहाँ आए हैं।
नरेंद्र मोदी हिंदुस्तान के सबसे अमीर लोगों का 1,50,000 करोड़ रुपया माफ किया है। किसानों का माफ नहीं कर सकते, किसानों को सही रेट नहीं दे सकते, किसानों को बोनस नहीं दे सकते, किसानों को मुआवजा नहीं दे सकते, किसान को सिर्फ गोली दे सकते हैं, गोली।
The overall situation in Mandsaur, however, remained peaceful and rail movement resumed. However, incidents of arson were reported from Shajapur and Dhar districts on the 8th day of the farmers' stir. According to the state administration, a truck and 2 motorbikes were torched by protesters on the Mumbai-Agra highway and stones were hurled at police personnel in Shajapur, following which Section 144 was imposed.
आज के जो हमारा अनुभव है उस आधार पर लग रहा है कि लोगों ने इसको बड़े सकारात्मक रूप से लिया है। शांतिपूर्ण ढंग से लोग छूट की अवधि में निकले हैं। इसको देखते हुए कल हम लोग छूट की अवधि को बढ़ाएंगे और 2-3 चीजों पे हम लोग विशेष रूप से फोकस कर रहे हैं। एक तो दूध की उपलब्धता शहर में हो।
The MP government on Thursday said that the 5 farmers in Mandsaur were killed in the police firing during the protest demanding farm loan waiver. 7 cases were lodged and 56 people arrested and 102 detained in connection with the agitation. The centre rushed 1,100 personnel of Rapid Action Force to the state.
देखिए, जिन 5 किसानों की मृत्यु हुई है, वह पुलिस की गोली से ही मृत्यु हुई है। ये जांच में स्पष्ट प्रारंभिक जांच में स्पष्ट हुआ है।
Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that the state government was open for a dialogue with farmers and also insisted that he will not let pulses prices fall to enable farmers to get full price of their produce. He also announced a loan settlement scheme which will cover 6 lakh farmers with accumulated dues of 6,000 crore rupees.
एक नहीं अनेकों फैसले अभी अभी हमने किसानों के हितों के लिए लिए हैं। समस्या के समाधान के लिए बातचीत के माध्यम से मैं सदैव प्रस्तुत हूं। चर्चा करके समस्याओं का समाधान हो सकता है।
Curfew was relaxed in Mandsaur for women and children for 2 hours to buy essential commodities. The district administration authorities have assured that curfew would be relaxed for longer hours today. A 5-member Aam Aadmi Party delegation will visit the district today. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, 4 farmers ended their lives in Maharashtra in the last 2 days, including one in Solapur district, who left a note purportedly stating that he should not be cremated till the Chief Minister visits his place and meets their demands. Dhanaji JADHAV hung himself from a tree near his house at Veet village in Karmala Tehsil last night. Police said that JADHAV possessed 2.5 acres of cultivable land and had a debt of around 60,000 rupees. He also took loan from some private lenders. Another farmer reeling under debt committed suicide by consuming poison in Pune district. He had reportedly suffered losses and had no money to organize his daughter's marriage. In Wardha district, a farmer allegedly committed suicide by hanging himself from a tree in his farm. He had taken a loan of 1.3 lakh rupees from a nationalized bank and was unable to repay it. In Satara, another farmer ended his life by consuming poison. Maharashtra
और जैसे ही ऊपर गए
Maharashtra government on Thursday appointed a committee to calculate the exact amount of crop loans of banks which haven't been repaid and the number of indebted farmers. The committee was set up following Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis's assurance to come out with a crop loan waiver scheme by 31st of October amid farmers' agitation in the state. The committee has to submit its report by October. 2 columns of army were deployed in Darjeeling on Thursday after Gorkha Janmukti Morcha supporters clashed with the police protesting against the imposition of Bengali language in the schools in the hills. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee was holding a cabinet meeting in Darjeeling at the time of the protest. The police fired tear gas shells and baton-charged GJM supporters who tried to march to Raj Bhavan, the venue of the cabinet meeting. Darjeeling, which at present is full of tourists, was peaceful for several months as a GJM spearheaded agitation for a separate state of Gorkha land had taken a backseat. The GJM supporters tried to break the barricades put up by the police and hurled bricks at them. They even damaged police vehicles, setting a few ablaze. This is the first time that Mamata is holding a cabinet meeting in Darjeeling. She said that the state government would set up a new secretariat here. The GJM supporters staged a dharna and raised slogans against the Chief Minister. The GJM also accused the TMC government of trying to disrupt peace in Darjeeling by its divide and rule policy and called for 12-hour shutdown in the hills today. The BJP on Thursday criticized the West Bengal government for failing to contain violence and demanded that a peace committee be formed to restore the peace in the region. BJP MP from Darjeeling, SS Ahluwalia, however, questioned the reason behind deployment of army when the entire state cabinet is present in the hills.
Now we have been informed that many tourists are being stranded, and it is taking about 3.5 hours to reach from Ghum to Darjeeling, which is a journey of 20 minutes. It's taking 3.5 hours. Only 8 kilometers, this long, small distance. It's taking a very long time because it's landlocked. The entire place is landlocked. As soon as the situation, this demises, we will actually take a stock of the situation. We'll sit in our association meeting and take further decisions. But as of now, what we can say is that if this situation prevails and if there is any strike or bans, this will have a very long and negative impact on tourism. We appeal to all the sections, to the administration and as well as to the political leaders, to refrain from this kind of actions and not go for any violent movement or ban.
TMC वाला पुलिस के आड़ में वहाँ से बाहर से पत्थर मारने शुरू किया भीतर, तो भीतर से भी पत्थर मारना शुरू कर दिया. तो ये अच्छा नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि हमारा जो डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन है, जो हमारा प्रोग्राम है, एकदम पीसफुल मीन्स में हो रहा था. इतना दिन हमारा रैली हुआ, इसमें कोई गंडगोल नहीं हुआ. लेकिन आज जो भी हुआ, ये इसके लिए हम लोग प्रशासन को दोषी ठहराता है.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Kazakhstan today. India and Pakistan are all set to become full members of the SCO at the two-day summit. Along the sidelines of the summit, Narendra Modi also expected to meet a number of other foreign leaders. He met the Chinese President Xi Jinping a short while back. The Prime Minister thanked the Chinese President for their efforts and support for India's SCO membership.
India and Kazakhstan have decided to enhance cooperation in a wide range of areas including hydrocarbons, trade and investment and atomic energy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is in the Kazakh capital Astana for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, met President Nursultan Nazarbayev. Prime Minister tweeted saying the meeting was productive.
They reviewed the progress on the decisions and agreements they had reached during Prime Minister's previous visit to Kazakhstan in July 2015.
Both sides also agreed to deepen cooperation in the hydrocarbon sector.
One of the important achievements of this progress is that Kazakhstan is now #1 supplier of uranium to India. Both the leaders agreed to continue and maintain this partnership in this important field. They also discussed our cooperation in hydrocarbons. Our exploration work in the Satpaya block is going satisfactorily. Next month we are going to start the drilling of the second exploratory well in the Satpaya block.
The issue of renewable energy also figured during the 45-minute talks between the two leaders.
President Nazarbayev deeply expressed the progress made by India in the renewable energy field. Prime Minister invited Kazakhstan to become member of the International Solar Alliance, to which he very positively responded.
There will now be direct flights between Delhi and Astana beginning July.
Both sides also agreed to enhance the direct flight connectivity between the two countries, and I'm glad to announce that there will be 2 flights connecting Astana and Delhi that will be launched in the first week of July.
The Prime Minister will address the summit today. He is likely to flag the issue of terrorism and the need for concerted efforts to combat it. The two-day meeting will see India become a full member of the organization. As a member of the SCO, India will be able to play a major role in addressing the threat of terrorism in the region. It will also gain greater access to major oil and gas exploration projects in Central Asia. Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is also attending the event, where his country will also gain full member status. The two leaders are reported to have exchanged pleasantries at the cultural gala organized in Astana. The SCO is being increasingly seen as a counterweight to NATO. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping met on the sidelines of the summit and hailed close ties between the two nations. Xi urged SCO to play a bigger role in Afghanistan's peace and reconciliation process. The summit will mark one of the rare times when India and Pakistan will conduct a joint military exercise, along with other SCO countries that include China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan and Tajikistan. These military exercises are required once any country joins the body. Today evening, Prime Minister Modi will attend the World Expo 2017, an international expo in Astana. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some more developments. Pakistan has urged the International Court of Justice to adopt an expedited timetable for an early substantive hearing of the Kulbhushan JADHAV case. This came as the agents of India and Pakistan discussed procedural matters with the court's president on Thursday. A meeting took place between ICJ President Ronnie Abraham and the delegations of India and Pakistan to discuss the timelines in the JADHAV case. Indian national JADHAV was sentenced to death by a Pakistani military court for alleged espionage. India on May 8th moved the ICJ against the death penalty. The next day, the global court gave JADHAV a lease of life and stayed the death sentence as a provisional measure. Pakistan claims its security forces arrested JADHAV from its restive Balochistan province on March 3rd last year after he reportedly entered from Iran. However, India maintains that he was kidnapped from Iran, where he had business interests after retiring from the Indian Navy. The US has said it is looking forward to host Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Washington later this month. According to the US State Department, Prime Minister Modi is expected to travel to Washington at the invitation of US President Donald Trump for a meeting at the White House later this month. Actual dates of the meeting have not been announced yet. This would be Modi's first trip to US under the Trump administration. The two leaders have spoken over phone for at least 3 times. Under the previous Obama administration, Modi had a record number of 8 meetings with Barack Obama. Modi travelled to Washington 3 times, and Barack Obama made a historic trip to India to be the chief guest at the Republic Day celebrations in 2015. A look at what else is expected to make news today in Day Ahead. The Supreme Court is expected to pronounce its verdict on a batch of petitions challenging the constitutional validity of a provision in the Income Tax Act, making Aadhaar mandatory for filing income tax returns and allotment of PAN. The provision also makes application for allotment of PAN effective from July 1st this year. A special CBI court in Ranchi has summoned Rashtriya Janata Dal chief Lalu Prasad to communicate to him the revival of conspiracy and other charges against him in a fodder scam case. The court issued the summons following the Supreme Court's order reinstating conspiracy and other charges against Prasad in a fodder scam case related to fraudulent withdrawal of 90 lakh rupees from the Deoghar treasury. Bhim Army founder Chandrasekhar to be produced before the court in connection with the Saharanpur violence. After being on run for about a month, he was arrested on Thursday. He is wanted for widespread violence that occurred on 9th of May in Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh. And with that, time for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay with us.
You must be knowing of DNA fingerprinting. That technology in India was started by our former director, Dr. Lalji Singh. Large number of initiatives are being done in this institute. We are also very active now in commercializing our product. Putting a lot of money doesn't mean you will discover a drug. So sometimes small discoveries lead to good drugs. So we need to keep the chair hot. But yes, we need to continuously try.
Watch Eureka with Professor Amitabh Chattopadhyay, JC Bose Fellow, CSIR CCMB, only on Rajya Sabha television. Jade was popular during Mughal era and gained prominence during Akbar's rule in 15th and 16th century. It came all the way from Iran and Central Asia in attractive colors. The royalty had a unique use for it, since jade changed color when it came in contact with arsenic. They started utensils like plates, jars, bowls, and even hookah, and thereby avoided getting poisoned by rivals.
Welcome back. Home Minister Rajnath Singh has said that he was ready for talks with everyone to resolve the Kashmir issue. He was addressing the media on the Modi government's achievements in 3 years, where he added that he will not put any conditions for the purpose. Rajnath Singh further stated that those who are instigating the Kashmiri youth should look upon them as their own child. He also said that the government is working on a permanent solution for Kashmir. Rajnath gave no details of the proposed solution, but said that in future there would be no hurdles or rocks in the path of Jammu and Kashmir. His statement came amid heightened tensions in the valley. Meanwhile, 38 armed militants have been killed as the army foiled a total of 22 infiltration bids along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir this year. When compared to the previous data, it was found that 28 infiltration attempts took place in 2015, followed by 88 infiltration attempts in 2016. A total of 59 army personnel have lost their lives in counter-terror operations in Jammu and Kashmir since 2016.
कि हम समाधान करेंगे, भरोसा दिया है। बीजेपी की सरकार कोई ऐसा काम नहीं करेगी जिससे कि किसानों का अथवा देश के किसी सामान्य नागरिक का भरोसा और विश्वास उससे टूटे।
On to the latest from weather. A fresh spell of rain stopped the upward trend of the mercury in the northern states, even as the searing heat led to the death of a person in Odisha. Delhi, UP, Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan, which have been staggering under the blazing sun, got some much needed relief as rains hit the region. The weatherman has also predicted heavy rains in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Karnataka and thunderstorm with gusty winds in Jharkhand and Bihar. As per the IMD, monsoon is likely to hit the state around the end of the week. On the other side, the maximum temperature fell in Kanpur, Moradabad and was markedly below normal in Gorakhpur, Varanasi, Faizabad. Banda was the hottest place in Rajasthan at 42.2 degrees Celsius. Moreover, the number of casualties due to the sunstroke in Odisha rose to 17 as one more heat-related death was reported from Dhenkanal district, though the temperature descended following more rains. On to some international news. Polls have closed in the UK and an exit poll by British broadcasters say that Prime Minister Theresa May could lose parliamentary majority. A joint poll by BBC, Sky and ITV News points that Prime Minister May's Conservative Party will win 314 seats, meaning Tories will fall short of a majority in the parliament. It is noteworthy that a party needs 326 seats to have an overall majority. The exit poll says that Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party will win 266 seats. If the results are confirmed, it will be a huge embarrassment for May, who called a snap election in April in the hope of gaining an even greater majority of seats to give her a stronger mandate for upcoming Brexit negotiations. The pound fell sharply after the exit poll as traders had been expected a clear victory for May's party, which with an overall majority in the House of Commons. Britain also got its first female Sikh and first turban-wearing MPs as the general elections results began pouring in. Indian origin Labour Party candidates won more seats than their rival Conservatives. Labour Party candidate Preet Kaur Gill won her Birmingham Edgbaston seat.
I think now what they want is certainty. Markets always hate uncertainty. It's a great cliche, but it actually does ring true. And I think we just want to see some stability in the domestic political scene, especially at this really important moment when we're heading into Brexit negotiations. And we need to have a government that's really fit for heading into that. And that the risk is that if we have a coalition or we have a minority government, we just don't have that stability at home to take on Brexit.
Former FBI Chief James Comey has accused US President Donald Trump of lies in his congressional testimony. Comey spoke in public for the first time about his relationship with President Donald Trump and the circumstances that led to his firing in the testimony on Thursday. He said several times during the 3-hour testimony that he believes Trump fired him because of the Russian investigation. Comey conceded that Trump did not ask him to drop the investigation into Russian interference in the US election, but he did say that Trump had directed him in February to drop an FBI probe into the former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn as part of the broader Russian investigation. Comey did not read the 7-page statement he had prepared for the Senate Intelligence Committee, but offered opening remarks after saying that the administration had defamed the FBI by citing a loss of public confidence. Meanwhile, Trump's personal lawyer has rejected allegations made by the Comey.
Director Comey, did the president at any time ask you to stop the FBI investigation into Russian involvement in the 2016 U.S. elections?
Not to my understanding, no.
Did any individual working for this administration, including the Justice Department, ask you to stop the Russian investigation?
No.
Do you believe this will rise to obstruction of justice?
I don't know. That's Bob Mueller's job to sort that out.
The latest missile test from North Korea has once again raked up tension in the Korean peninsula. South Korea's President Moon Jae-in presided the National Security Council meeting after Pyongyang's test on Thursday and ordered for military readiness against the provocative action by its neighbors. China, North's only ally, called for all parties to exercise restraint and take action to stabilize the situation in the region, while Japan said launches did not influence its national security as none of the missiles landed in its territory or exclusive economic zone. North Korea launched a series of what appear to be surface-to-ship missiles on Thursday to test its precision strike capability. The latest launches come less than a week after the United Nations Security Council passed fresh sanctions on the reclusive state.
한반도의 평화와 남북한 공동번영을 위해 비핵화의 길로 나와야 합니다. 비핵화는 남북 간의 합의고 북한이 국제사회에 한 약속이기도 합니다.
In good news for India in sports, Rohan Bopanna and his Canadian teammate Gabriela Dabrowski lifted the mixed doubles title at the French Open. The Indo-Canadian pair defeated the Colombian-German duo of Robert Farah and Anna-Lena Gronefeld 2-6, 6-2, 12-10 in the summit clash. The 7th seed pair lost the opening set comprehensively but came back to win the second set. The match then went to super tiebreakers where the Indo-Canadian pair held their nerve to win 12-10. This was Bopanna's maiden Grand Slam title. He now joins Leander Paes, Mahesh Bhupati and Sania Mirza as the Indians who have won a Grand Slam title. Meanwhile, the tournament this year will see an unseeded player in the women's final for the first time since 1983 as Jelena Ostapenko of Latvia set up a title crash with third seed Simona Halep. In the first semi-final, 20-year-old Ostapenko defeated Switzerland's Themia Bastianski 7-6, 3-6, 6-3 to reach her maiden Grand Slam final. Halep, meanwhile, overcame a tough from Czech second seed Karolina Pliskova. The Romanian won 6-4, 3-6, 6-3 to move within one win of her first Grand Slam title and the #1 ranking. In the Champions Trophy, defending champions India were beaten comprehensively by 7 wickets by Sri Lanka at the Oval Cricket Ground on Thursday. Put into bat first, India once again put up a strong show with opener Shikhar Dhawan's century, well supported by Rohit Sharma's 50 at the top. MS Dhoni then propelled the innings with a late half-century to take India's score to 321 for 6 from 50 overs. Despite losing opener early, Sri Lanka remained fluent in the chase. Kaushal Mendes and Dhanuska's half-century kept the Lankan chase on track. After both batsmen departed, Angelo Matthews and Asela saw their side home with 8 balls to spare. It was Sri Lanka's joint highest successful run chase in one-day internationals. The result leaves Group B open with every side in fray for the semi-finals. In today's game, New Zealand will take on Bangladesh in Group A encounter.
Yeah, it was a very important game for us. No one really expected us to win. That took us, that took a lot of pressure off ourselves, and we just, went out there, expressed ourselves, and, you can see what we can do when we play with a lot of freedom.
It's like a batting collapse, when you collapse as a batting unit, you don't sit down and think of, your life's over. You just move on and say, it's a bad day, forget about it. That's what I mean. In a test match, you have a lot to think about because the game goes on for 5 days. But I think in shorter format cricket, you have to forget it and move on because we're playing in 3 days' time again.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. Keep watching Rajya Sabha television.